About 100,000 fractures in the United States each year will not heal on their own. These traumatic injuries, known as non-union fractures, can affect people of all ages, with the largest demographic being middle-aged men who typically work in areas of manual labor. These men are removed from the workforce for at least 9 months, losing income and gaining many medical bills. We have a technology that can not only eliminate the need for additional surgeries, but can also stop non-union fractures before they can begin. Most non-union products use growth factor delivery methods in order to stimulate bone regeneration, but they all struggle with one similar problem. These growth factors can move everywhere in the body. Products like Medtronic's Infuse flood implants with large amounts of growth factors in hopes of attaining this bone growth, only for those growth factors to move elsewhere, causing bone to grow in muscles and soft tissue. Now imagine, you've just gone through one invasive procedure, and you have to undergo yet another to remove a bone growing somewhere that it shouldn't be. That's why Medtronic's Infuse device was later removed from the non-union market. Our patented technology allows cells building the bone to locally activate therapeutics when they need it, thus reducing the total number of growth factors needed and limiting their spread. Additionally, our technology can either be used as a treatment method for non-union fractures that haven't otherwise healed, or as a preventative measure during the first corrective procedure, getting patients back to their lives months earlier. We need 1.5 million pounds to deliver a final working prototype and preclinical in vitro and in vivo study data. Thank you.
So I don't quite get the technologies part. You said it's locally activated. What exactly, how exactly does it work? It's like a material, it's like laser. What is it? Can you explain it to me, please?
So it's twofold. The first part is an Aptamer-based technology. So it's a single strand of DNA, and it's a oligonucleotide. And on one end, you have a peptide. On the other end, you have a bound protein that you want to deliver. And it acts like a shoelace. So if a cell pulls on it at a specific force, it will unlace like that shoelace and allow the growth factor to be released in the area of that receptor. So you can modulate the release for specific purposes. The other part is an actual scaffold in order to deliver these traction force activated payloads, traps. That's our name for the Aptamer. So that is the component that I've been researching thus far.
Thanks.
That sounds a lot like let's say, an active pharmaceutical to me. 1.5 million fields into preclinical. Do you think that number is realistic?
So that number is an estimate as we're coming into finishing our prototype. So about 200,000 towards finishing developing our working prototype, another 300,000 for the in vitro study data. And then from there, the large chunk is going to go into our in vivo study data to really get that safety and efficacy data. And so at the moment, it's more of an estimate, but as we get closer to that in vivo model, we will be able to give a more accurate number.
And I suppose, is there anything similar, even a similar construct on the market at all in any kind of pharmaceutical or wound care environment at the moment?
So two things on that. First is that we would mainly be looking to harvest growth factors, which would then make it not as much of a pharmaceutical, but more of a medical device and going against the current standard of autografts and allografts. So we would not need to go down the pharmaceutical pathway. And secondly, we have a patent that is defending all potential uses of this application, and it's quite wide-standing. And currently, all the aptamers on the market do not work like our technology does. So we stand at a unique point to be able to innovate from there.
Cool. I run out of a question, to be honest. I'm curious about the business model. You said that you're not going down to the pharma route, right? So how are you going to sell your devices potentially?
So there's a couple different ways to do this. The first pathway that we've been exploring is through non-union fractures. And this is because it's a much more niche market. And we're focusing specifically in the United States, where there is more of a willingness to uptake new technology, especially in surgery. And so with this technology, we're aiming to prevent those fractures from worsening. But there's also a lot of other experimental usages that can be available for this technology. It can be in wound care dressings, different neurological conditions, any sort of delivery where you need to specify the delayed release of specific molecules. So at this point, we're looking at this target market, but there's a lot of room for exploration.